And that's just on the outside, guys. Look at those strawberries back there in the dense growth of these strawberry bushes. Let's take a deeper look. Let's look deep inside, see what we see. Look at those beautiful strawberries, guys. And these are just everywhere. Everywhere you look, you're seeing strawberries, and lots of them. As we move around here to the other side, I bring y'all down here. You can just see strawberries everywhere. Even on the small, newer bushes, we've got strawberries. Everywhere you look, we're going to have a huge harvest. And look, let's pull back. There's a couple that are starting to get ripe. But just look along these edges, guys. Everywhere you look, strawberries. And a lot more blossoms coming out on these as well. Let's check out the tomatoes. Now again, the tomato plants, these were planted from plants. These didn't come on from seed. But look at the flowers. And if we peer back in here, and we move some of this vegetation, look at the tomatoes. Got nice young tomatoes coming on, and a lot of flowers. Flowers everywhere. More flowers in here. Some of these don't have fruit on them yet, but others have some nice fruit. And on some of these, if we look inside, we see some very small tomatoes starting. Small tomatoes in there as well. So the tomatoes, guys, I think they're doing pretty good. I think they're going to do a lot better this year with the cages. Some more small tomatoes. So the tomato plants are coming right along. This is that one that was eating pretty good. Didn't think it was going to survive, but it's pulling right out of its kink. And this one here, the same way. I didn't think it was going to survive, and it's coming right along. Now they say your corn's supposed to be knee-high by the 4th of July. I would say my corn will definitely be knee-high by the 4th of July. I've never grown corn in a raised bed either, so this is an experiment, and we'll have to see how it's going to do. But the growth so far is right on par for what I would expect for this time of year. Now, Papa Texas had a little thing going where he wanted everybody to plant potatoes in a barrel. Well, I didn't plant mine in a barrel. I planted them in a raised bed. And if the vegetative growth on these is any indication, we should have a nice harvest of potatoes. Now, I don't know what they're doing underneath. I don't know if they're actually producing potatoes or what, but we definitely have some good vegetative growth. So we'll have to see what's going on here. What do you think, Papa Texas? Let's move over here to the asparagus bed. Now this is that little 4 foot by 4 foot bed. Now I planted some peppers in here. As you can see, there's one there. These are the same peppers that I grew last year, if you were following my channel last year. Kind of an elongated pepper, I can't remember the name of them. They just started coming up, so they're not doing all that great. So we'll have to see how they're gonna do. Now I know they did real good down there in the bed that's got bell peppers in it. But we'll have to see how it's gonna do here. Right here, you see nothing. I did plant some more radishes and some green-tailed onions. And right here we've got some acorn squash for Mrs. MP. She really likes acorn squash, so I planted some. This just came up not too long ago, so we'll have to see how it's gonna do. Right now they look pretty good. And the asparagus, some of it still hasn't came up. But we do have a nice little asparagus plant right here. As you can see, that was the first one that came up. And then I got a couple of more to come up right here. If you can pick them out of all the bark and stuff that's in here. They're right there. You can see there's one there, one there. And then over here I got a new one coming up. And it's right there at the tip of my finger. So that one just started coming up. So at least we're getting some asparagus up in this bed. This is the first year, so we won't harvest any. Next year, they say the second or third year, you can actually start harvesting your asparagus. Now, I don't like store-bought asparagus. I've never tried it fresh out of the garden. So we'll have to see just what it tastes like. Okay, guys. This is that 4 foot by 20 foot long by 10-inch deep flower bed that we planted. You saw me and Mrs. MP planting this. All of the irises came up. We planted 100 bulbs. Every one came up. And quite a few doubles. Out of the sunflowers that I planted, just this one came up. We got one Gloriosa daisy coming up over there. Found a nice little buttercup growing wild, so I planted that in here. There's another iris planted right in here somewhere. But all of these are the wildflower mix that we planted. These are supposed to come up and flower. Hopefully they will. You can see there's some lupins that were in the mix. I planted another Gloriosa daisy over there that I found growing wild in the yard. So again, this is that flower bed. We should start seeing some flowers pretty soon. Let's take a look at the peach tree. This is that peach tree. And as you can see, we got some small peaches in there. Down up under here. There's some more small ones somewhere. They're growing in here. I think there's a total of 6. And that's the little apple tree we got planted. So it took real well. I still want to take and move up there a little ways and put in a pear tree. And of course, there's the fire pit with the seating area that we put in. This is the start of the fruit forest. I want to get some blueberry bushes and put up in here. Will you survive whatever comes your way? If you start yourself a fruit forest and get some raised beds growing, you just might. It's the Massachusetts Prepper saying, take care all.